Chessboard, a game of strategy and calculation. The Chessboard Killer used all these techniques, turning this game into a twisted reality. This is the story of Alexander Pichushkin, the Chessboard Killer who took almost 60 people's lives in his signature chess style. In the heart of Moscow, young Alexander grew up in a seemingly ordinary household, living on Khersenskaya Street, mere minutes away from Bitsa Park. Raised with his family, including his mother, stepmother, her husband, and their son, Alexander's early years showed no signs of the evil hidden inside him. Yet, tragedy struck as a swing accident left him injured. The incident, experts believe, triggered changes in his brain, altering his impulses and fostering aggression. His once friendly demeanor gave way to hostility, setting the stage for a troubling future. Following relentless bullying, his mother transferred him to a school for children with learning disabilities. This move intensified his anger. However, hope emerged from an unexpected source: his maternal grandfather. His grandfather recognized Alexander's intelligence and guided him towards intellectual pursuits, with chess at the forefront. The chessboard became Alexander's battlefield, where he channeled his aggression into strategic brilliance. As the pieces of Alexander's life moved forward, tragedy struck once more with the passing of his beloved grandfather. This loss drove him to seek refuge in alcohol, dimming the pain but fueling his aggressive tendencies. His affinity for chess persisted, leading him to the mysterious characters of Bitsa Park. But Alexander didn't stop at that. He took a much darker turn as he began recording disturbing videos, wielding power over unsuspecting children. The depths of his hostility knew no bounds, and by 1992, even this wasn't enough to quench his thirst for control. The first chapter of his reign of terror was penned on a fateful day in July 1992. A meeting with his classmate, Mikhail Odichuk, set the stage for darkness. What was meant to be a diabolical pact to take 64 lives turned into a gruesome betrayal. In a chilling turn of events, Pichushkin's best friend met his end at the hands of the Chessboard Killer, leaving behind a trail of questions and unfathomable horror. The chilling depths of Alexander Pichushkin's psyche seemed to intertwine with Andrei Chikatilo, a notorious Russian serial killer responsible for the deaths of 52 children and young women over 12 years. But as the mystery unfolds, an even more haunting revelation emerges. Pichushkin himself revealed that his sinister goal was to take the lives of 64 people, a tally mirroring the squares of a chessboard, a morbid manifestation of his strategic mind, a game of life and death played out in the shadows. A betrayal marked the beginning of Pichushkin's reign of terror. In the summer of 1992, at 18 years old, he orchestrated a sinister plan with his classmate, Mikhail Odichuk. The plan, a pact to end the lives of 64 individuals. But fate, it seems, had a different design. As they stood in Bitsa Park, Odichuk had a change of heart. The pact between friendship and hostility ended in tragedy as Pichushkin strangled his friend, leaving his body hidden in the depths of a sewer entrance. This marked the first murder of Pichushkin. Now, before we dive further into cold-hearted crimes, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update from our channel. In the haunting landscape of Bitsa Park, Pichushkin's obsession escalated. On May 17, 2001, Yevgeny Pronin, a 52-year-old man, became Pichushkin's pawn. A walk to commemorate a dog's passing turned into a dreadful scene. After toasting to the deceased pet's memory, Pichushkin struck Pronin with a vodka bottle, taking his life. He further threw the dead body in a nearby well. From 2001 to 2005, Pichushkin's gruesome murder portfolio was marked with 36 victims, most elderly and homeless, wandering into his malevolent orbit. A blow to the skull, a fall into the sewage canal, a ceremonial signature etched in impaled heads. As the seasons turned and time marched forward, Pichushkin's methods evolved. From 2005 onward, the once shared vodka bottles turned into weapons, his victims unsuspecting recipients of a final toast to their doom. Striking with a hammer, he silenced his victims before defiling their remains and throwing them into a well. Occasionally, he would sign the body by impaling the victim's head with sticks or an emptied vodka bottle. His meticulous approach, always attacking from behind, painted a chilling portrait of calculated brutality. Amidst the horror, Pichushkin's reign began to unravel. Pichushkin invited Marina Moskelyova, his 36-year-old employee, for a stroll in June 2006. Moskelyova decided to travel with him despite her suspicions about him. She left a message for her kid, explaining that she would be with Pichushkin and providing his contact information. On June 14, 2006, Pichushkin's signature injuries were found on the corpse of Moskayova, who had been dumped in bits apart. After discovering a Moscow metro ticket in her hands, police looked at security video from the system and saw her and Pichushkin strolling on a station hours before her murder. Pichushkin, once captured, had a remarkable ability to recall the details of his killings and led investigators to several sites in bits apart. It is standard procedure in Russian criminal investigations to videotape suspects playing out their crimes on camera. Even though one of his victims made it through the experience, Pichushkin said that he committed at least part of the murders he admitted to by dumping the victims down into the sewage systems under bits apart. Pichushkin said that he felt like God when he decided whether his victims would survive or die. "There was only ever one reason I murdered. When you murder, you want to live," he once said, explaining why he killed. "To me, a world without murder is like a world without food. Since I was the one who led all these individuals into this other universe, I felt like the father of all of them." Chapters of Alexander Pichushkin's horrifying story reached their climax within the confines of a courtroom. On October 24, 2007, the weight of 49 murders and 3 attempted murders bore down on him, a manifestation of his reign of terror. Pichushkin didn't stop there. He boldly requested the court to add 11 more victims to his grim tally, raising his claimed death toll to a staggering 60, with 3 survivors as witnesses. As the trial unfolded, Pichushkin found himself confined within a glass. The isolation was necessary to shield him from potential harm, but it also highlighted the gravity of his actions. And when the gavel finally came down, the verdict was obvious: life imprisonment. But the punishment came in layers, with the first 15 years spent in the unfathomable solitude of solitary confinement. Once directed at his victims, Pichushkin's thirst for control now met its match in the prison's cold embrace. A futile appeal followed, claiming the sentence was too harsh, a desperate plea to alter the destiny he had carved for himself. However, his fate remained unchanged, and in 2017, Pichushkin found himself confined to the Polar Owl, Arctic penal colony, where time moved as slowly as the frigid winds. His story became immortal through various forms of art. Books like Alexander Pichushkin, The Chessboard Killer by Roger Harrington, and The Sandman by Lars Kepler explored his mind, unraveling the mystery behind his dark deeds. But that's not all. Music also gave voice to the shivers caused by Pichushkin. The Finnish death metal band Torture Killer composed a whole album called Sewers, inspired by him. Norwegian band Exelum echoed his eerie tale in their song The Bitsa Maniac, capturing its haunting essence. The story even reached the small screen, a Discovery series, Serial Killers, Chessboard Killer, meticulously examined the case, bringing it back to public attention. Podcast 2 delved into the narrative of Pichushkin. In an episode named Making a 23rderer, My Favorite Murder Podcast uncovered his story. Meanwhile, the And That's Why We Drink podcast deeply piqued his psyche over 2 episodes titled The Chessboard Killer, ensuring his terrifying legacy lives on. And that's all for the infamous Chessboard Killer. What do you think about his twisted want for control? Let us know in the comments below. Subscribe to our channel if you want more details about the murder stories of this stone-hearted killer.